Well, hello there, everybody. You have reached Coffee Time with Grandpa. And guess what? I'm Grandpa. Today we're going to be talking about reincarnation. But before we get to that, I want to welcome everybody to my channel. I want to make sure that everybody shares my channel with their friends. Go ahead and like my channel, leave a message if you have a prayer request, or subscribe to my channel to get future updates, because I'm going to be posting a lot more long form videos. Now, for the next year, I have to concentrate on long form videos, and I'm not going to be posting too many shorts. The shorts that I do post will try to guide you to my long form. So if you see a lot of my shorts of me talking like this, come to my hit the subscribe button and come to my YouTube channel, where you can see the long form, because those are the ones that are going to be packed full of information. Now, today we're going to be talking about a very sensitive subject, because uh, I have learned in the long run that a lot of people believe in reincarnation and a lot of people don't, especially Christians. And of course, I do know why Christians do not believe, or why it's not taught in the Christian churches about the afterlife and reincarnation and coming back and trying to correct your mistakes that you have made in the past lives that you've lived. Everybody out there has lived many, many, many lifetimes. And you have to really understand why we're here, the meaning of life, and why we are so hung up on not believing what Christ originally taught, because it's not in the Bible. Okay? Reincarnation was totally taken out of the Bible. In any books that were written talking about reincarnation within Christianity uh, was taken out uh, by the Nicene Council that happened during the last Roman Emperor period. Okay, when Christianity started flourishing, there was a council that was created in Nicaea, and they chose the 66 books that are in the Bible today. But if you were to go down to the Ethiopian Bible, or in Ethiopia, you would come to realize that there are 80, 90 different books in the Bible that are not in the Christian St. James version of the Bible, but are in the Ethiopian Bible. Um, and this is what the problem is. This is why reincarnation was taken completely out of the Christian Bible, because it was an attack on the control system in the Christianity faith to try to keep control over their uh, world within a male perspective. Anything that was feminine in the Christian Bible was taken out, especially the ones about Mary Magdalene being the top disciple with Christ. But we will talk about that more later. Today, we're just going to talk about Christianity, and as it relates to pagan beliefs and why it's so different, why pagans believe in Christianity. Of course, not all pagans now believe in Christianity as far as when it comes to reincarnation. Um, I often ask my question: is reincarnation real, or is it just a bunch of made up bullshit? I battle back and forth. I go back and forth in this all the time. Now, I want to relate a story time of me, uh, and let's go back to when this happened to me, when I finally realized that reincarnation is real, because it may not be a complete explanation uh, of the past and your past lives, but it's enough information that has come through the spirit world to me that I know it's real. And that let's go back to 1972. Uh, and I was luckily enough to be in the military. Of course, I was in my early 20s. I was just a young man out, going out into the world and seeing what he could. And I was in the military at the time, stationed in Germany. And my commander at the time uh, had some train tickets, and that he would give out to soldiers, in the military if they did something good. And at that time, uh, I was rewarded for my work that I was doing in the Cold War. I can't really talk about it that much, but I was doing uh, translations in code during the Cold War, and I was doing such a good job that I got these free tickets to go to Berlin. So me and two other men in my unit, uh, I still remember their names. One was a George, and the other one was Stephen. And they were both privates, and we had a chance to go to Berlin. And this was the time that the Berlin Wall was still up. It hadn't come down yet. So we had an opportunity to get on a train as U.S. soldiers, but we had to wear our uniforms and everything so people would know we were American soldiers visiting like tourists in Berlin. So we went up to Berlin and we saw the sights, the Olympic Stadium, the Berlin Wall, the big old mound that was there when they blew up Hitler's bunker. It was on the other side in Germany, East Berlin, but we could get up on a platform, podium type thing next to the Berlin Wall and look over. And it was pointed out to us that that was where Adolf Hitler's bunker was, but it was just a mound that was blown up at the time. It wasn't anything you saw a little hill off in the distance, and that's all it was. There wasn't much left in the 70s. Now, where it becomes interesting is when we were trying to find Checkpoint Charlie. I'm sure everybody is aware of Checkpoint Charlie, and we were trying to locate it. And while we were trying to locate Checkpoint Charlie, we got lost. Oh my goodness, we were just really worried that we couldn't find our ways back, because even the people that we asked in the streets of Berlin, how do we get to Checkpoint Charlie? And most people really didn't know what we were talking about. So we were really purely lost. And I was getting worried because it was getting late afternoon and I wanted to make sure that we got back to where we were staying at the hotel that the military provided us to stay at. It was actually a chateau that we stayed at in the military that they converted into a hotel for American soldiers, and that's where we stayed. But anyway, meantime, we were close to the Berlin Wall, and we were trying to find the where the Russian uh, checkpoint was, where Checkpoint Charlie was located, and then we were walking down streets, and then something came over me. I don't know what it was, but I got this eerie feeling that I'd been there before, because all of a sudden the street became recognizable to me, and I understood where I was, whether to take a left turn or right turn or go down a couple of kilometers further down. I knew exactly where I was at. Everything was so familiar to me. Uh, and lo and behold, I gave out instructions to the other two soldiers that was with me. Oh, we're close by, I told them. We are so close by to Checkpoint Charlie. All we have to do is go down this road, about a kilometer down, make a left, and there we will be at Checkpoint Charlie. So, of course, they looked at me like I was nuts because I was never there before in my entire life. And lo and behold, we went down a couple of kilometers, turned on this side street to the left, and right there it was, Checkpoint Charlie. Oh my goodness, I could not believe it. I couldn't believe that the surroundings were so familiar to me. And this is what I call deja vu. A lot of people have these when they're an empath and they're spiritually inclined. And I have been an empath and I've been spiritually inclined ever since I was a little boy of 5 years old, that I could recognize that I had this ability. And so that was my first um, full episode of experiencing reincarnation. I thought to myself, well, I must have been here in a previous lifetime. And lo and behold, I still believe that to this day, because this was not my only encounter that I've had with reincarnation. I've had dreams of things that I can't explain, of places that I've been to that I know I've never been to. It's just reincarnation is a remarkable tool to have in your life, because once you break through that barrier and break through those lifetimes, you can start recalling bits and pieces of previous lives that you've had. So that was one of my story times. I hope it was interesting to you. Now, I want to ask my audience out there, uh, what is reincarnation? Well, in different belief systems, it means different things. But in my belief system that I have come to back up by facts that happened in my lifetime, I understand reincarnation. Now, this is purely my opinion, okay? It's something you don't have to agree with, but this is where I have come across reincarnation in my life as a physical thing that's happened to me that makes me try to explain what reincarnation really is. What is reincarnation? Well, it's basically a uh, simple way of thinking of how to explain why we are here on this plane of existence, and what our mission is, and how we accomplish that mission so we can go back to the spirit world and start the process all over again. Because throughout the universe, it's always been that way. There's a beginning and there's an end, and it's always on a repeat cycle: beginning and end, beginning and end, beginning and end. Because you start a new beginning as a baby when you come into the world with the slate clean. You don't have any memory of that, because uh, it it wouldn't work otherwise. If you had a memory of all your reincarnations, because some people have had thousands of reincarnations since the beginning of time, and you have to come into the world with a clean slate so you can start all over again and rediscover your life and relearn everything, and go down the correct paths that you were meant to go down, and learn from your experiences and take those experiences back to the spirit world after you die. Okay, that is the whole point of reincarnation. Now, of course, in other cultures like India, uh, Pakistan, in the Orient, they believe in a different reincarnation. They believe a lot of times, if you're a bad person and you've lived a bad life, once you die, uh, you go back into the spirit world. And if you've been really, really bad, you come back as a snail or a snake or a cockroach. And of course, to me, that's all nonsense, because once you've reached the level of being a human being and you've reached that consciousness, that higher consciousness, you don't revert back to being a cockroach. Okay, you might have been a cockroach at one time, but once you progress, you keep on progressing. You never go back. And I don't believe in that form of reincarnation, because to me it's just silly and stupid to think that just because you led a life of bad choices, that you die and you reincarnate into a animal of some kind, going backwards in time. Uh, no, I don't believe in that, and I don't think any human being out there would believe that. I don't know how it got about to millions of people in the India and Pakistan and the Oriental uh, countries that they believe such nonsense, because to me it is nonsense. Now, this thing about pagans and versus Christianity with reincarnation, it's always been a battle, because there, believe it or not, there are some pagans out there that don't believe in reincarnation, but 90% of pagans that are out there do believe in reincarnation. They believe in reincarnation to their full heart because of the experiences in life that they have had. They believe in trying to grow, and you make mistakes and you learn by your mistakes and you keep on growing. Okay, that is just the way it's always been. Christianity, mankind has gotten a hold of Christianity and taken a lot of that reincarnation philosophy out of Christianity, so you don't really run across it that much. Uh, Now, understanding life after death. It's a big subject matter that I'm going to be talking about in future episodes. I'm going to be talking about life after death and life in the spirit world, and embracing the natural world through paganism, through Wicca, which I am a member of and I believe in very much. But I've run out of time, and I want to cut short now this, and I'll go ahead and post this today if I possibly can. Uh, just always remember, Grandpa is out there researching in different topics, and I hope you will come along with my trip to paganism and try to understand my views on it. I'm sending love and blessings to all, and I hope everyone out there will subscribe to my channel. Guess what? It's time for me to say, wow. Thank you for being here, and see you next time. Bye bye.